months, in the next 2 months, you guys are going to be tested 3 times. First is the topic 2 and 3 assessment, which is next week. You also have to take the mid-year. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you also have to take the algebra EOC. All right, so here's how this is all going to work. This week, so today we're reviewing for geometry. Tomorrow you guys have a day off. Thursday and Friday, we're going to do one quick algebra review. We're going to go over quadratics because if you remember with algebra, so far we've gone over linear functions, exponential functions, systems of equations, and solving equations. We've done all that. The only thing left is quadratic functions. So we're going to do that Thursday and Friday. Then on Monday, we're going to review everything that's on topic 2 and 3. And what is on topic 2 and 3? This is what's going to be on your test next week. So there's the triangle congruence theorems, so SSS, SAS, ASA, AAS, HL, all of those. Equations of parallel and perpendicular lines, which we will definitely review today. Other triangle theorems, which is what was on your quiz. So mid-segment theorem, exterior angle theorem, base angles theorem, and constructions. So all of those 9 constructions that we've gone over, that will also be on that test. So that test is Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Then after your test, we're going to review even more because the following week you guys have to take the mid-year assessment. The nice thing though is that the mid-year assessment is everything that was on topic 2 and 3 as well as topic 1. So the mid-year assessment is going to be testing you on everything in the previous slide that I just went over, along with geometry definitions, which is pretty easy. It's like, what is an angle? What is a line segment? What is a ray? All of those. Transformations, which everyone loves, right? So we got to know the rules. Remember all those rules for translations, reflections, and rotations. And then finally, congruence through rigid motion. So basically what makes 2 figures congruent, what makes them not congruent. So all of that is on the mid-year assessment. So basically the mid-year assessment is going to be very similar to the topic test. That's why I'm doing them back to back, because I just want to get geometry out of the way, because then in December, we are focusing pretty much 100% on algebra. So after we come back from Thanksgiving break, we are going to spend 2 weeks doing full algebra review, like boot camp style. We're going to review everything. And then you will take the algebra EOC on December 14th and 15th. This is the date you guys, in a second, I will have you guys actually take a picture of this schedule, of this calendar. But that is the day, those 2 days are the days to have on front of mind coming up in the next 2 months, because that's what we're working towards. The EOC is going to be in school. I'm going to repeat that. The EOC is going to be in school, okay? And it will take half of the whole day. Both days, you guys get 3 hours each day to get it done. You won't need all those 3 hours, but you get 3 hours. So that day is important to mark down, especially because your parents need to be able to drop you off at school. Okay? So I'm going to go back to the previous screen. I want you guys to take a picture, take a screenshot. This is our schedule. I'm not telling you it's not going to be easy, guys. It's going to be tough. I know. I wish that we could just abolish testing forever and nobody ever has to take a test again. But like I said, it's not up to me. And I'm trying my best to have this work out for everybody so that we're able to do our best, okay? So I want you guys to give it your all. It's just 2 months and then you're done. Then you have a whole month of break. Okay, so not a whole month, 2 months, 2 weeks of break. All right, so take a picture, take a screenshot. I'm going to go to the next slide in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's December. Take a screenshot, take a picture. Okay, guys, I know this is a lot. I know. Just remember, the EOC, I want you guys to make that the most important thing in your brains, because that's the thing you definitely want to pass, because if you don't pass it, you have to keep taking it until you do. And trust me, you do not want to have to take that test again. Okay, so we're gonna
wear uniform too?
I don't know. You might have to. I'm gonna check in with Miss Deriskar about that. You might get a pass. All right. And will I be there? Probably not. Unfortunately, probably not. But you'll have probably Mr. St. Rose will be in there with you as your proctor. All right. If not, I can try and see if like maybe they can get Miss Weaver or someone else you guys know. Okay, so that's the schedule. So now with that past us, let's go ahead and go through our problems for today. So I think it's 10 problems total. Again, for most of these were on the quiz, and then the rest of them you guys saw them last Friday, but we didn't get to them during that class. So today we're just going to finish that. Starting with this problem, can I have a volunteer? I don't know if y'all can read in Miss Brown's room or not, but if anyone would like to read.
Can I read?
Yes, go ahead, Tyrone.
Lee's teacher gave her a picture of an angle and asked her to perform a common construction on the figure. Lee used the compass to draw several arcs on the original angle and a nearby ray, as shown in the figure below. To complete the construction, Lee must use a straight edge to connect the endpoints of the ray with the point where the two arcs intersect. Which common construction is Lee performing?
Okay. Now in this problem, they're very nice with this problem because they're telling you exactly what comes next. They're saying that Lee will connect the endpoint of the ray, so that's the endpoint, with the point where the two arcs intersect, which is right here. So she's doing this. That's not a hard question. What did she just do?
Angle bisector.
Did she? She cut
Wait,
that angle in
sorry.
half?
Congruent angles. I'm sorry.
Congruent angles.
Bro just loves talking out of turn.
Congruent angles. That's it, guys. This question should not have been difficult as long as you read it very carefully and as long as you've been practicing your constructions like I've been saying you have to do. If you've been practicing those constructions, this is an easy question because you've done this in front of you on paper. And
Yes,
that's the
yes,
best
yes,
way.
yes.
Say
Like,
that
I
again?
get them right on the quiz, but then when you come and ask us and we review, I get them wrong.
It's
Which
the
is
opposite
annoying,
for me.
yeah.
Okay, well, we need to find a way that we get it correct every time, no matter what. Right?
Well, the quiz is what matters, so.
All right, so yeah, these were definitely wrong. And then if you were not sure and you thought maybe it could be the angle bisector, what is missing? Why would it not be the angle bisector?
Wouldn't it have to, like, from the point where the two rays intersect, be a line there?
Yeah, there would have to be something cutting it in half, which there is not in this example. So we know that that is wrong. Okay, so it's all about reading, and I've been saying this all along, guys. This is like it's a math test, but it's also an ELA test. You really have to read very carefully. All right, so that was congruent angles. Here's another one from the test. Who would like to read this one?
Mm.
Go ahead, Tyrone.
Kelly is using a compass and a straight edge to perform the geometric construction below. Which of the following best describes the figure Kelly is constructing?
Okay, so here's another example where they make it pretty easy for you, except they don't tell you what's going to happen next. But we know that usually when we're doing constructions, we always draw a line or draw a dot wherever two things intersect, just like that. And who thinks they know what this is going to be?
I think it's going to be a parallel line.
Parallel line. Do I have any agreement? Okay, Emily agrees, Jalen does not. Okay, Jalen does. Okay. Yes, this one is a parallel line. This is one of the ones that if you practice this one, you'll know exactly what this is because this one's different from all the other constructions that we've done. But yes, when you connect those two dots, you would create the parallel line of RS. So this would be a parallel line. Parallel lines, I really like this one, this construction. I like practicing it because it's kind of like, it's fun. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But this is one that you can definitely practice at home, guys. It's not going to be too difficult. Were there any answer choices that you could definitely get rid of? Which ones could I get rid of?
Could it be a perpendicular line through RS to S?
Yeah, and then Emily said perpendicular bisector. Definitely perpendicular sounds wrong because does anything here look perpendicular or look like it could be perpendicular?
No.
No. Okay, so maybe you might have thought this was angle bisector because, yeah, it could kind of look like it's going to be an angle bisector, maybe, but it's not. It's going to be parallel lines. So this is one where if you do it, you will be more familiar with it and it'll be easier to answer that question. All right, and then finally, this was the last one on the quiz. Examine ABC below, determine which of the following relationships is true. Okay, so looking at this triangle, what do we notice that helps us to figure out what it is? So what is the same? What is different? Can we give it a name?
DE is half of AC.
Good. DE is half of AC. And what is DE called?
The
The mid segment.
Good. This is my mid segment.
could you also say DA is congruent to BC? Oh no.
DA.
I mean AD is congruent to DD.
Yes. So the congruence, those little tick marks are telling me that these two are the same and then the other two are the same. So that's how you know that it is the mid segment because D is the midpoint of AB and E is the midpoint of BC. So we know that both of them are midpoints, so the whole thing is a mid segment. And like Tyrone said, DE is 1/2 of AC, right? We know that. What's another way to say the same thing?
Could you do DE equals 2 of AC?
So the red one is 2 of the blue one?
What Emily said it.
What Emily said, the other way around, yeah. So you could also say that 2 DE is 1 AC. So it's two ways you could have said it. Well, now let's look at the answer choices. Do any of those answer choices match with either of those two statements? In other words, is A true or false?
False.
False.
It's false. It gets it backwards. What about answer choice D? Is D true or false?
It's false because it's saying that DE is the exact same size as AC when it's not.
Yeah, definitely not. Okay, now let's look at the other two. So letter B is saying that angle BCA, so this one right here, equals 2 times angle BED, which is that one right there. True or false?
False.
False. Those angles Are they the same or are they different?
They're different.
Really? Look closely.
Oh wait, no, they're the same.
They're the same. How do we know that? How can I prove that they're the same?
Oh, is it the SAS? Oh no, never mind. Don't pay
Okay.
attention. Don't pay attention to what I said.
Color
Okay.
being wrong 101.
It's not a triangle congruence theorem. I'll give you that clue. But there is something else that can tell me that these are congruent.
Is it because that BE is congruent? Is it because BE is congruent to EC?
No, that doesn't tell us much.
Hmm.
I'll give you guys a clue.
The transversal line?
Yeah, because what are these? These two are
Parallel.
parallel, and then here's my
Transversal.
transversal, which makes those two angles what type of angles?
Alternate.
No.
Wait, no.
I think corresponding.
Corresponding.
They are corresponding angles, so they're actually congruent. They're exactly the same. And we also, I just gave away the answer, which is that line segment DE
This is my fault.
is parallel. Don't forget that this symbol right here means parallel. So we know that because it's the mid segment, the mid segment is always going to be parallel to the opposite side. So this one is true. DE is parallel to AC. Do I have any questions on this problem?
No.
All right. So again, the test you guys are taking next week will definitely feature questions just like this one, just like this one, just like that one, and just like the one we did in the bell ringer. In fact, I took these from some old tests, so you never know. You never know. Sometimes they literally copy and paste those questions. So it's very important to understand how to do them. Okay, but now I want to get to some of those problems from Friday, which are also just like what you'll see on your test. First thing I want to practice is this. This is perpendicular and parallel lines, because we spent a day on this, but I do think we need more practice. All right. So who would like to read? Who's going to read for us?
Can I read?
Mm-hmm.
Wait 1 second. Line FG goes through the points 4, 9 and 1, 3. Which equation represents a line that is perpendicular to FG and passes through the point 2, 0?
Okay. Keywords. What should I highlight? Anyone? Keywords. Keywords.
Perpendicular?
Perpendicular. What do I know about the slope of the perpendicular line?
Um.
The same?
I might not
Right.
know the actual value of it. Jalen, slope is a number, not a point, not a coordinate point. Okay, slope is a value, not a coordinate point. The slope will be, I might not know the actual value yet, but if I know the slope of one of them and the other one is perpendicular,
It would be the same.
what do perpendicular lines look like?
Oh, isn't it gonna be like the reciprocal? Opposite reciprocal?
Opposite reciprocal. Opposite reciprocal. Remember, parallel lines cross at what type of angle? Not parallel, perpendicular lines. What type of angle do they create?
Miss, what was the question?
What type of angle will be created by these perpendicular lines? Thank you, Jalen, 90-degree angle. So again, they can't have the same slope because if they had the same slope, they would be parallel, not perpendicular. So now I have to figure out what the slope is going to be, which means I need to look at the original line. And the original one, FG, goes through 4, 9 and 1, 3. Does that tell me the slope?
No.
No, it doesn't. But I can figure out the slope by using our good friend, what's this?
Rise over run?
Rise over run, otherwise known as the? Good, Jalen, slope formula. So I have 2 points that they gave me, 4, 9 and 1, 3. I'm going to plug those values into my slope formula. What should I plug in for y2? What should I plug in for y2? Good, Jalen, 3. How about y1? 9, good. 3 minus 9, x2
1,
and x1.
4.
There we go,
Jalen,
okay.
stop taking our answer.
All right, so 3 minus 9, what's 3 minus 9?
-6.
And then what's 1 minus 4?
-3.
And so what's -6 divided by -3?
2.
2.
Miss Jalen keeps stealing my answers.
So
Oh,
rude.
well.
Oh my
right.
god.
So the original slope is 2. What do we want our new slope to be? I'm looking for the opposite reciprocal. What is the opposite reciprocal of +2?
-2.
No, isn't it -1/2?
Yeah, -1/2. Because remember, reciprocal flips. So the 2 has to now be in the denominator. Okay, -2 is just the opposite. But the opposite reciprocal would be -1/2. Questions on that? You can also think about it this way. 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So when you flip it, that would be 1/2. Okay. All right. So now I know my new slope has to be -1/2.
My phone just died, so
Oh no, and there's really no Wi-Fi? Uh-oh. All right, they might have to leave us, but we're just gonna keep going. All right, so that means Jalen, you might not have any more competition. My new slope is -1/2, and it has to pass through the point 2, 0. It has to pass through that point. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up an equation. I want everyone to copy this down. Jalen, Daniel, Emily, Alejandro, Samaj, pencils on paper. Pencils on paper, because the more you write this is going to come up in your EOC as well. So that we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone right now. In order to write the equation for this line, if all I know is the slope so far, there's one more value I need to figure out. I need to figure out the y-intercept. I don't know what it is. Okay, so I am going to find it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by writing down y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to plug in everything except for the b, because the b is what I'm looking for. I don't know the value of b. I need to figure it out. Since they gave me a point to plug in, they told me it's passing through 2, 0. I can plug in 2 for x and 0 for y. So for y, I'm plugging in a 0 for y. And I'm going to plug in a 2 for x. But what do I plug in for x? I mean for m, which I haven't done yet. What do I plug in for m?
-1/2,
Good, where'd you get that?
because it's the slope and
The
x.
slope. It's what I already found. I calculated it in the previous step. So we're plugging that right into the formula. And now I'm going to solve for b. So I have to multiply 2 times -1/2. What's 2 times -1/2? Good, Jalen, -1. And if I want b to be all by itself, what should I add to both sides? Right, I add 1 to both sides. So I know that 1 equals b. So my y-intercept is 1. So now I know my slope, I know my y-intercept. I know that the full equation is going to be y equals -1/2 x plus 1. That's my equation. However, does that match with any of the answer choices?
No.
It doesn't seem to, right? So what can we possibly do to figure out the answer? Plugging in, there's not really anything to plug in. How can I figure out which of those equations matches my equation?
Use congruent similarity.
Hmm? Guys, we're in trouble.
I have an idea.
Okay.
So like if none of the equations are like in slope form, I
Mhm.
think it's called standard form. Whereas like no,
Yeah.
you know right where they
Yeah.
have the x and the y in the
Yep.
middle.
They're in
So
standard form.
one of the points and like put them in.
How will plugging things in help me out?
Oh, never mind then.
Being wrong 101.
No.
Okay, but nobody else is right. So right now, at least she's trying.
No, I wasn't making fun of her. I was just saying.
All of these equations, like Perla said, they're in standard form. How do I go from standard form to slope-intercept form?
Don't you like solve it like algebraically? No, never mind. Never.
Yes. What should I do?
Oh, so we can like add the x to the right.
Exactly.
The right.
If I want to turn this equation into slope-intercept form, I know it needs to be y equals mx plus b. I'm going to move over the thing I don't want. I don't want that x on the left side. I want it over on the other side. So just move it. We're in algebra class. I'm very disappointed in you guys right now. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get the grades we want on that EOC. We're moving it over to the other side. That's all. It's that easy. So this example A, or answer choice A, is 2x minus 4. Does that match my equation? Does that match? Oh, yeah? Okay, so this equation is exactly the same as my equation? No, it does not match. So this is wrong. Next one, same idea. We're going to try to get it into slope-intercept form. I'm going to add 2x to both sides and then see if it matches. Y equals 2x plus 2. Does it match?
No.
No. Answer choice C. What should I do to both sides? Add x. I'm adding x. Is that what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to add x. Okay, x plus x is 2x. 2x plus 2y equals x plus 2. Is that what you wanted?
No.
No. What did he do wrong? How do I move it over? I'm not going to add it.
Subtract?
Subtract it. Minus x. So 2y equals negative x plus 2. Am I done?
No.
What do I still need to do?
Divide by 2.
Divide by
get
2. Divide by 2. Now, when I divide by 2, what do I get on the right side?
Negative 1 over 2x plus 1.
Negative 1 over 2x plus 1. Does that match?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's my answer. Okay, we're going to have to practice this again because now I know. Now I know. Okay, questions on number 6. Okay. Number 7. Tyrone, do you want to read?
Oh, sure. A student wants to prove that the base angles of an isosceles triangle are congruent. The student draws an isosceles triangle ABC with base angles B and C as shown below. Point M is drawn as the midpoint of BC. Which of the following could be used as a part of the proof that angle B is congruent to angle C? Select 3 that apply.
Okay, so we kind of started this one on Friday, but we didn't finish it as far as I remember. So I want to kind of do it again. So I know that point M is the midpoint. What does that mean I can label? If point M is the midpoint, what can I label on my diagram?
That B is congruent to MC.
BM is congruent to MC. Okay, so I know that. And okay, so what am I trying to prove? I'm trying to prove that angle B is congruent to angle C. That's what I'm trying to prove, but I need to get there one way or another. Okay.
AM is reflexive.
AM is reflexive, that's true. AM is reflexive. Okay, so I know a couple of things. Let's see what else. Let's look at the answer choices and see what we can use and what we can throw out. So answer choice A. Answer choice A is saying that AM is congruent to AM because of the symmetric property. True or false? No, right? Because we know that this is not the symmetric property. This is the
Reflective.
reflexive. Okay, then it's saying that BM equals CM because of the definition of a midpoint. Is that true? BM congruent to CM because of the definition of a midpoint. Jalen says that's true. Do we agree?
Your gloves are plastic. Only your mask are plastic.
Do we agree?
What's the plastic glove?
I'm going to take everyone's silence as a no, so we don't agree. I'm just going to sit here in silence till someone says something.
Miss, like our connection went out. Can you repeat the question, please?
We're trying to decide whether answer choice B is true or false.
Yes, that's true. Because we already figured out they're congruent because M is the midpoint of BC.
Good. Okay. Answer choice C. AB is congruent to AC because of the definition of an isosceles triangle. Is that true or false?
False?
Mm,
Mm,
true.
Daniel
Wait,
says
no.
true.
No, it's false.
false, but I'm not 100%.
True.
True?
Yes, because since it's an isosceles triangle, that means that um both of those two sides are the same as the two the
Mhm.
angle. No, not the same.
You're on the right track. You're right. Yeah, you're right. This is true.
Wait, Miss, I changed my mind. It's true. Because, like, the two sides are at least congruent.
Right. That's the definition of an isosceles triangle. Two sides have to be congruent. Okay, so this is what we know about those triangles so far. We know that we have three pairs of sides that are congruent to each other. So the next one, ABM is congruent to ACM because of the SAS triangle congruence criterion. Is that true or false? Can I use SAS to prove that they are congruent?
No.
No. What should I be using instead?
SSS.
It should be SSS, not SAS. So this is false.
If we knew that that reflexive thing was like the perpendicular bisector, we would know that it would create like two 90-degree angles. So then we would be able to use it.
Right, but we don't know. It doesn't say anything about perpendicular, so we can't assume that. So good. Okay. And then finally, angle B is congruent to angle C because of CPCTC. Is that true or false?
I think that's false.
So the question, can I use CPCTC?
No.
No.
Why not?
Because we haven't proved the entire triangle is congruent yet.
I haven't?
Oh, wait. Oh, you have because of SSI.
Yeah, I have. Even though that answer choice was wrong, we know that it's congruent because of SSS. And since we know that it's congruent, I can now use CPCTC. So this is true. So those are my answers for number 7, B, C, and E. Any questions on this? The only reason A was wrong and C was wrong was because they used the wrong keyword, right? So in this one, it should have been reflexive. And then in answer choice D, it should have been SSS. All right. Number 8, here's another one with algebra involved, okay? So we're gonna be very careful with this one. Consider the diagram and angle measurements shown below, and then you have to figure out what is the measure of angle 2. Okay, so I'm gonna label things. This might get confusing, but we're gonna try our best. I know, okay, I also know that L is parallel to M, and that's gonna be important. So what I would like to do is I would like to highlight all of the angles that are the same based on this diagram.
Can I start,
So-
Miss, with angles
Yeah.
1 and 4?
1 and 4. Okay. So
Wait.
this one and this one?
I forgot the thing with.
Yeah.
It's,
It's okay.
Alternate, yeah.
Interior, corresponding, vertical.
Yeah, we got to use all those definitions. There's
I know the vertical angles, but they're like not all of them are there. Like it
mhm.
would be congruent with the one on the other side, but that doesn't have a number, so we can't
Yeah.
include that.
So we can't really do that. I'll
If
give you
the
guys a
number
clue.
would be
I'll give you
vertical.
guys a little hint or a little, this might help. Let's focus only on K as the transversal. So ignore line N for a minute. Just look at line K. So we're looking at line K and then the two parallels.
Would it be 3 and 4 alternate interior?
What are 3 and 4 to each other? Look carefully. They're not alternate interior, but they are something.
Not alternate exterior.
First of all, are they alternate or are they on the same side?
No, they're on the same side. So are they corresponding?
Yeah, they sure are. Take a look, flip your screen, do your best to ignore line N, tilt your head a little bit, and notice that those are corresponding angles. Does anyone want me to explain how those are corresponding?
Yes,
No.
I need a refresher, please.
Remember that corresponding angles are where they're located in the same place, but like one is on top and one is on the bottom. So in this case, I wish I could tilt my screen. I wish I could like flip it around, but let me see if I can do, this might help, hold on. Okay, I'm just taking that out. You see that?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it looks better now.
See that now? So now we can see that
Yeah.
those are corresponding angles.
Oh, okay, I got it.
It's just it's flipped.
Yeah. So it's just hard to see in this orientation, but if that helped, that's good. So angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. Now let's, instead of looking at K, let's look at N.
Miss, I think I already know one.
What do you think?
Is 1 and 5 alternate exterior?
Good. 1 and 5 are alternate exterior angles. Very nice. And so are they the same or are they going to add up to 180?
Add up to 180. Never mind.
They're the same.
They're the same. Yeah. And again, I can take this out so you can see it more clearly. Notice how those are the same, right? Can you visualize it? Okay, they're the same. So let me put them back. Okay, so now I know that angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Now I have this information. I can use that information in order to figure out the angle 2. Because I have all of these values, right? I know angle 1, 3, 4, and 5, and I can set up a couple of equations. So can somebody set up an equation for me based on these values?
Like, you know, like those that they gave us, like, how do I say it? Like in the.
Yep.
Okay.
Could you do?
Oh,
Oh wait, I think I
I'm slow,
know.
miss. I'm sorry.
Could you do 3y plus 7 equals 5y minus 73?
Mm-hmm.
Because we already proved that 3 and 4 are congruent.
Exactly. What about with angle 1 and angle 5?
You could do.
X plus 14 is equal to 3x minus 54.
Stop stealing my answer.
Miss, I literally thought you were trying to tell us to like do the measure of angle 3 is equal to measure of angle 4.
Oh.
Is to measure of angle 1. You
Oh,
know
wow.
that little thing?
Yeah, we were not doing that. We're just setting
that's
up
what
these
I was thinking.
equations. All right, now let's solve. Let's start with the green. Solving for y, what do I do to both sides?
Subtract
Subtract what?
5y.
Mm-hmm.
5.
What's 3 minus 5?
Negative 2.
Negative 2.
Now what?
Subtract 7.
Subtract 7. Oops, hold on. Okay, subtract 7. 73 minus, negative 73 minus 7. Careful.
Negative 80.
Negative
Negative 2
80.
y is equal to negative 80.
So when I divide by negative 2, I get y equals
40.
40.
Double team.
Y equals 40. Now let's do the blue one. Rapid fire. Here we go.
Subtract 3x.
Subtract 3x. X minus 3x.
Negative 2x.
Now what?
Add. Oh wait.
Subtract
Subtract
14.
14. My bad.
Negative 54 minus 14.
Negative 68.
Good. And I divide both sides by
34.
negative 2 and I get positive 34.
Mental math. Oh, wait.
All right, so now I know x and y, but I still don't know angle 2, right? But I'm getting closer. So here's what I'm going to do. I know angle 2 is right here. Let me highlight this. I've got this triangle right here.
I have a question, Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Are the measure of angle 1, 2, and 3 equal to 180?
Why would they be equal to 180?
I don't know. I just saw it on that one, on one assignment, and it just stuck to my head.
Okay, well let's actually look. So I'm gonna do something. Watch carefully. I'm just gonna take this out.
What is it on for television?
Okay, so I'm kind of highlighting that whole area. And let me take it out. Okay, so I took it out. This is 2, this is 1, and this is 3. You could also just draw that on a sheet of paper right next to you, and that could also help. Since I know, do I know the values of 1 and 3?
Yeah.
Kind of, like I'm gonna need to do a little bit of work, but I can figure it out, right? What would I need to do to figure out the value of 1?
Did you plug in the 34 back into the equation?
Yeah, plug 34 back in. So it's 34 plus 14.
48.
48, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know this is 48. What about angle 3? What could I do to figure out the value of angle 3?
Do the same thing.
Plug in the other one.
Yeah, plug in 40. So 3 times 40 is
120 plus 7, 127.
good, 127.
Into math.
Okay, so now I know that. So let's fill that in. So angle 1 is 48. Angle 3 is 127. And I'm getting really close. I need to figure out the angle value of angle 2 though. So what else, now that I know angle 1 is 48, what else could I possibly fill in?
Angle. Now could you fill in 2 or? Could you now fill in angle 2 since you know both of them?
Kind of, but not really yet.
Would you have to do the thing where it's equal to 180? No, right? Yes.
That might have to do with it. That might have to do with it, yeah. But I don't have sufficient information quite yet. But I could fill in some stuff. So I know angle 1 is 48. What else is going to be 48?
Angle 5?
I'm not worried about angle 5. We're not worrying about that anymore.
Would it be angle 2? No, right?
No, it might not have a name, but use your words. What else is 48?
Okay.
We're trying to like
We're
turn
trying
it
to flip the
around.
screen and stuff.
Guys,
Yeah.
it is not hard. I'm telling you right now, it is not hard. If angle 1 is 48 degrees, what other angle is 48 degrees? Let's go. Come on.
Oh, the one vertical to it. The
Thank
one.
you. This one is also 48 degrees. Okay, so now I know 2 of the angles on the inside of this triangle and 1 angle that's on the outside of this triangle. What could I do?
Hmm.
Did you add them? Actually, no.
One, two, three.
Is there anything else I can figure out? Let me straighten this. It's bothering me.
Jalen said something.
Can we do 180 minus 127? Yeah, why would you want to do that? What's that going to help us to find? The other angle. Good. So what's 180 minus 127?
53.
You say 53?
53.
Yeah.
5 or 6?
5.
5. Okay, just checking. 53. So now I know.
Myself with my mental math.
Now I know almost everything. I have 2 out of the 3 angles. What can I do?
Add them and then do 180 minus what they add up.
Good.
That
So
is
what's
101, right?
53 plus 48? 101. So 180 minus 101?
79.
79 degrees. So measure of angle 2,
Okay, I
79
understand.
degrees.
This is going.
This is a puzzle. This question is a puzzle question. You have to piece it together. There's a lot of information that is useful, but you're not going to get an answer out of thin air. Look how much work we had to do. We did a lot of work just for this one problem, right? So there's definitely going to be problems like this where you have to try your best to piece together the puzzle. Now, I'm not saying you should do this, but let's say you're out of time. You only have like 5 seconds left on this question on the test and you're freaking out. You don't know what to do. Is there something that I can eliminate from these answer choices? If this is the angle I'm looking for, angle 2 is the one I want.
Oh, 90.
Why?
Because that, based on my eyes, that obviously doesn't look like a 90-degree angle.
Good. Based
And
on your eyes. What else?
it doesn't tell us that it's like a perpendicular bisector.
Right.
It doesn't say
So
anything perpendicular.
right. So more likely than not, it's probably not 90 degrees. Are there any others I can cancel out?
D?
Why?
Wait, one moment.
Right. The angle 2 is acute. Angle 2 is less than 90. Less than 90. So that means answer choice D is way too big. And what about answer choice C? Right, and answer choice C is also obtuse. That's a little too big. So you really could have done this question using your eyes. Now, I'm not saying you should do it that way, but if you're in a situation where you only have like 5 seconds left and you just got to pick one, answer A is the only one that even makes sense. Good job, Jalen. Yeah. All right. Okay, who would like to read this one? Number 9. We're almost done.
Can I
Me.
read?
Go ahead.
Examine the following figure. If JL is equal to 16, KM is equal to 4x minus 1, and KM is a perpendicular bisector of JL, Determine which of the following values are correct. Select three that apply.
Okay, so they give us some extra info. Let's fill it in. JL is 16. Hold on, okay. JL is 16, so this whole thing is 16. KM is 4x minus 1. And KM is a perpendicular bisector of JL. So what else can I fill in here?
We know that the measure of angle M, I guess, is 90.
Mm-hmm. And what
And
else?
The other side too.
did we say that M is
Oh, isn't it that JM is equal to ML?
Yeah, they're equal to each
Bisected?
other. Mm-hmm. It got bisected, it got cut in half. So how much, we actually know how much each of those is going to be. How much would JM?
8.
Yeah, each of these would be 8. Okay, so that's all the information I know. And now we need to figure out, select 3 that apply. Okay, can anyone give me an equation to set up? Any equation.
Could you do, is that 4x minus 1 on JM?
Yes.
Could you do 6x minus 7 equals 4x minus 1?
Okay, what do you guys think? Would those two be congruent?
I disagree
You disagree? Why?
because we don't know anything about them being congruent, like at all.
At
There's
all.
information
Yeah.
that proves that.
There's not enough information. Is there something else though that I can set up?
Hmm.
Um,
Is there enough information to prove that 6x minus 7 is congruent to 5x minus 3?
no.
Why not? Hmm?
Miss Tyrone doesn't want to explain.
You gotta explain. If you answered something, you gotta be able to explain it.
Um,
I say no because it doesn't tell us anything about them being congruent or
No.
information giving.
No, it doesn't, but I know that these two are congruent. I know that this one is congruent to itself. And I know that the right angle is congruent to the other right angle. So what do I have?
SAS.
I have SAS. So yeah, they are congruent because I have SAS, so I know that both triangles are congruent to each other, which means that 6x minus 7 is equal to 5x minus 3 because of SAS. And Jalen said that, yeah, this is an isosceles triangle, definitely. This is an isosceles triangle, so we can go ahead and solve. Solve for x. What do I do to both sides? Both sides, minus 5x. Good, Jalen. So I have 6 minus 5 is 1, so x minus 7 equals negative 3. Add 7 to both sides. What's negative 3 plus 7?
negative 4. Wait, 4.
Thank you, Perla. X equals 4. So what can I get rid of? Are there any answer choices I can get rid of? Yeah, A is out. And then from there, let's fill in all the blanks. So if x equals 4, let's plug it back in. What do I get for the length of JK? How long is JK?
Mm.
24 minus 7 is equal to. Carol, stop distracting me.
24 minus 7.
What is? No.
It's not, yeah, 17. Good. So this is
Take
17. What else is going to be 17?
L. Because they can
KL.
do it.
And then what about KM in the middle? If that's 4x minus 1, plug it in. What do you get?
7. I mean, sorry, 15.
15, yeah.
I
So
was
this is
thinking.
15. Okay. I want you guys to spend the remaining, we have 5 minutes, so spend 2 minutes figuring out which of these answers are correct, and that's going to be all the time we have. One more minute. Okay. Answer choice B, true or false?
False.
False. How about C?
True.
True.
Wait.
How about
Right now.
D?
True.
How about E?
False.
False.
And how about F?
No, no. Wait. Yeah, true.
Jalen, true. Good. All right, you had to do all that little bit of math, just a little bit of addition to figure out the perimeters. And F is the only one that's true. All right, that's all we have time for. So we didn't get to this one. I'll see if I can find a time to fit this one in, but it probably won't be till next week. Because as we know, the rest of this week, we're doing algebra review. Next week is all that testing, okay? All right, and we went over this. Okay, so there will not be Khan Academy homework. However, there is one assignment due by Wednesday, tomorrow at midnight. You are responsible for 3 constructions. Do them all on one page and just take a picture of the whole page. So an equilateral triangle inscribed in a circle, regular hexagon inscribed in a circle, and square inscribed in a circle. I will post all the resources on Teams, all the videos on Teams, so you can use them. But again, no Khan Academy, just this by Wednesday at midnight. I have not received, hold on, I did not receive any pictures from Daniel or Alejandro. So the 2 of you better get it done because right now y'all have an F for homework. Okay, I don't want to hear any excuses. You know how to reach me. Okay? Any final questions?
Miss Lopez. Me and my family couldn't get a compass.
Okay, and you said the one you had an
It's
issue, right?
broken.
Is Mr. St. Rose in the room right now, by any chance?
No.
If you happen to see him later today, ask if you could borrow one from the school because we have some in the school in the math closet. Try your best to find him. Tell him I sent you to ask if you could borrow a protractor, okay?
Okay.
That's your task. And I'll text him as well so he knows that you'll look for him. All right, any other questions? Okay, my next class is already trying to get in. So you guys can go, you're all done. Have a good night. I'll see you guys not tomorrow, but Thursday, right? Because tomorrow there's no school. So I'll see you guys on Thursday.
Bye,
Bye,
miss.
everyone. Bye.